Yo,
What up?
so somehow Dev gets this intro perfect each time. Like he gets us situated in the right boxes and everything as soon as we join in. So we live after a 1 week hiatus. Yo, I got an interesting topic to bring up just to start off the conversation here. Now I'm sitting here, yo, pistachios.
I got the same ones.
Yo,
I got the same
yo,
one.
hey,
I got the exact same one.
Yo, I come up with an analogy. Now, I'm admit this probably make about as much sense as Charles is talking to his sheep and stuff the other day, or goats or whatever the hell. yo, like, all right. So it's a bag of. I was saying before we got on, yo, it was a bag. I didn't know how much pistachios cost when my wife bought them. Came in, and I'm going through one whole bag. But yo, I think they're addictive. I think it's the part of like. Yo, I think it's like it must be something to go back to hunting and gathering, like cracking open the shell and eat it. Because you get the ones that's already taken with the shell open. To me, that's whack. Like you know, you don't want to eat. I don't want to eat them like that. But it's the whole process of eating it. I got like 100 of them here or something already. That's the thing I was thinking. I think it's the whole process of like cracking open the shell, eating it, that makes it more.
Bugged out, man.
Yo, I said it was gonna make about much sense as you
Bugged out.
or whatever the hell you were saying.
Yo, but that goat was talking to me, right?
I mean, it was talking. I don't know if it was talking to you.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You didn't hear his tone and his dialect as he responded.
I didn't hear. I don't know goat dialect. I don't know the. I know the bad sound. So you heard something.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, did you see the length of it? Like when I bad for a long time, his bad was long. When I shortened mine, his was like.
I heard that. I just don't know if there's a direct correlation to your conversation and his. That's about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing though. So all my friends, yo, I am not ordering no more popcorn, kid. For no basketball stuff, man. I ain't had enough of these popcorns, man. I'll donate. I'm not.
I ain't running to nobody.
I can't order any more popcorn.
Yo, you know what I do? I will order ridiculously, but I can't because I got this gluten issue thing going around. Those some Girl Scout cookies, man. I feel like I can't eat them like that no more, though. That's real random. But.
So what's good, fellas? What's been going on? How's life?
No, shoot.
What's that? Explain the sound, Dev. Explain the sound.
Man, I don't know, man. This world.
I mean, something.
This world, man. I don't know. Lately, I'm not gonna say checking out, but I just been quiet, man. Like ultra quiet. I think everybody's going through things, and sometimes it shows up differently. You know what I mean? And so,
definitely.
You know, I'm really trying to get back to like meditating and all that other stuff because something got to give. Something got to give. You know, but
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been huh?
Yeah, no, I'm saying the environment stuff is just crazy. Like this stuff is going on now, but it's like to me, somebody who watches the news and stuff all the time, like I ain't even paying attention to none of it because it seems like political stuff is crazy. The atmosphere with violence and stuff is bananas. The economy is in the damn trash.
Gone.
And you know what the hell is they look at the news for? You might just like.
Yeah, we're losing the quality of life, kid.
Yeah.
Word.
That's a good point.
I mean, that's what I feel. I feel like in America right now, maybe throughout the world, I'm not sure, but feel like it definitely, you know, the racism and all that type of stuff aside, because, you know, that's always been present. But, you know, the violence, you know, we ain't seen this violence since the crack era, man. You know, and we got through that one, I thought. You know,
Like,
now it's a lot of violence kicking back up. Definitely,
After all this
you
COVID
know,
nonsense, right? I mean, like COVID is decreased some, and you got people like mass shootings every other day.
yeah, but so yeah, so you think if you combine the mental aspect of being locked in or locked down, however you look at it, over the better part of almost a 2 year period, and how that weighed on people, and then when they basically, kind of seemed like there was a bright side coming to an end with that, and and now people are putting the financial bonds that they're starting to be put in along with the mental stuff, man. It's getting crazy out there. Definitely.
yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
They was talking about inflation, and the thing that was crazy was they were saying that no one has gotten anything more. We've all gotten everything less. So
No one's got what?
no one's gotten it. Like, we're paying more for everything, but we're getting less of everything. You know what I mean? They was just like, because they're hitting us with the taxes, and everything's overpriced, and a lot of the things are shelled back. A box of cereal is not the same box of cereal you would have had 2 years ago. You know what I mean? And we're still paying more, but we're getting less of everything.
Yeah.
And there was matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can put it up here for once. We never really show videos, but there was this one clip I saw. Normally, I don't get shook by like these little videos. People be throwing these videos out there, and it's like these doomsday type scenarios. But this one video had me like, you know what I mean? Because he just made sense. It was just practical what he was saying, and pretty much in a nutshell, his whole thing was like, we're going to get through it, but if you don't start reeling back now in your behavior, this is everybody. No matter what you got or don't have, you're going to go through it a lot worse, because psychologically we don't think about it, how this stuff affects us. But just think about it this way, Charles. You went out to Minnesota the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, that might be something that you do for leisure, but you also might be doing it as a way of just getting away and freeing your mind. But what happens now if all of your trips, you can't take any of your trips because everything gets so overpriced that now it's just going to affect you in so many different ways that you never even considered before. Like, if you share what you told me about the scooter, I don't think Mike was on at that time. I think that's a really interesting way of looking at how everything is happening. You know what I mean? When you talked about the rental car and the scooter.
What was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
No, I was telling them when I went out to Minnesota, I said, yo, I just drove. I rode around on like their little tram system and everything, because it's a pretty good system, so you don't need a car. But I was like, yo, the rental car was almost $300 for 2 days.
For
almost
2 days?
$150 from a Tuesday to a Thursday. They wanted to charge me $290 for a rental car. So I just when I looked it up online, I was like, yo, I said, nah, man, there got to be another alternative. So I actually went and I plugged in from the airport to where my hotel was, my hotel to the baseball stadium, and it popped up different routes. And there was actually a subway. Well, it's like more like a tram, not a subway. There was a tram that stopped directly at the airport that took me to like within 3 blocks of my hotel, and I just walked there. And it's a very walkable city. And I was telling Dev, I said, man, I took the tram everywhere, and I mean, you could basically ride it for free. It is $2, but there's nobody that comes checks the tickets or whatever. It's like an honor system. But I bought my $2 ticket because I'm not going through no headache over $2. And I was telling him I went down to the George Floyd Memorial. I told him, yo, I took a scooter. Yo, he gave me the fastest way and the least expensive way there was to ride a scooter.
Yeah,
so I rented a scooter.
Sometimes, bro.
Yeah, yo, and it was a very easy ride. It took me like 24 minutes from my hotel on the scooter, but it actually gave the scooter as the fastest route. So I took the scooter, went down to the George Floyd Memorial and everything, chilled, looked at all of that, and I was just down there. The scooter actually died, so I had to chain it up. And I was just down there, and I was like, yo, you know what, man? I'm gonna just see the city of Minneapolis, man. I just said, yo, I'm gonna walk back to my hotel. And I walked back to my hotel from down there. It took me like an hour and a half, man. But I walked all through the streets. I went through the park where the kids was playing basketball and everything. And I was telling Dev, I talked to a couple of people while I was there, and I just ended up walking all the way back to my hotel, man. And went in there, chilled, got ready, and went to the Yankee game. It was economically, it was cool, and and I got to see a lot.
You read what Kimberly wrote? $700 to go to Maryland last weekend, car rental.
Yeah.
This
It was crazy.
This inflation stuff is out of control. Like, there's no reason some cars should cost $700 during a weekend.
Car rental, I think, is a double whammy, though. I think part of that is also COVID, because what happened during COVID was nobody was renting cars, and a lot of the car rental places sold off their cars. So now they're in the process, as far as supply and demand, they're in the process of rebuilding those stocks and getting those vehicles back. And then you think about it, with all of the
and it's hard for them to re-up too on it.
That you took the word. This dude, he took the words right out of my mouth. I was gonna say, with all of the shortages, right now there really aren't any cars to replace the ones that are already gone. It's everything is a tick for tack. You know what I mean? So
she is corrected me. Said she took that was the cost of the training. Said
oh wow, okay.
But that's
$700 to Maryland. Lord, that's still a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a trip out the country.
You should have got on the mega bus.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
$300 now.
I forget who told me this. This relates to what you said before, Charles, about taking the tram and it being on the honor system. You said it was like $2. I remember something funny. Somebody told me, I can't remember who told me it was, but somebody I go to the gym with, it was my niece or wife or something. But coming out of the parking lot next to the gym, you had to pay like it's like a $2 parking fee or whatever, right? So it's funny. I know she was walking by, going to the parking lot, going inside, right? And so a car was coming out, right? And so I'm trying to do this on the screen, but the car was coming out, and then there's a little traffic right in front, but somebody thought there's gonna be slick. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna pay the thing, so they try to get behind the second person before to get under the gate before it closed. So the first car got past the gate but had to stop because there was traffic out there. The second car didn't stop and rear-ended the first one. Then the lady got the car. She was like, "Yo, you effing serious? Like for $2? Like, yo, you rear-ended me trying to save on the on the damn cost of the parking like for $2?" Like I said it like that. I was like, "Oh shit." Yeah. Yo, you're a rear-end somebody instead of paying parking. Like now you have to deal with probably $500 in paying for a bumper or something like that.
It's funny you
say that. See, she's talking about the airline. No, I was saying to what you were saying.
Oh, that's correct. That's why flight prices have increased as well. Is what the pilot is telling us, because they have to make up the difference between what they lost. Wow.
It's crazy. We touched on a little bit before.
See, I don't give the airlines a pass though, man, because the airlines got a lot of money from the government, man. They got a lot of money, and that jet fuel is like some of the least refined type nonsense fuel you could get, man.
Nah, but them.
So,
well,
I don't understand that with the.
I know from working in the airline industry, that jet fuel costs, man. That jet fuel costs, and this is years ago. The prices are higher than they were years ago. I remember. Well, again, you make there's a company I used to work for. Jet fuel a month used to run like $40 million, like $40 million a month, like at times, and prices lower than now, just on just on paying for fuel costs.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about how much their overhead was on fuel. I'm talking about how much is jet fuel in relation to, say, like super unleaded type thing. I'm not talking about how much they were spending a month on fuel, because I mean, you know, world travel was at an all-time high, so I'm sure they were spending a lot of money on fuel.
No, in relation to it,
fuel was a big part of their budget. Yeah,
it's less, but you burning a whole lot.
But my thing is, but let's say you was spending 40 million on jet fuel, but the planes ain't flying, so you ain't spending 40 million. You don't got a $40 million fuel budget if you don't have if the airline industry was basically shut down, and the government still gave you 25, $30 billion. So I don't understand where you're talking about. Where did you lose a lot? You might not have maximized profit, but where was all these losses coming from that they talking about? Overhead for employee salaries? More, you got 25 billion or more from the government. What does the airline industry generate a year? I know the government gave them at least 25 billion. Then I think they gave them some more money. So where was their losses? Like, well, you wasn't spending. You didn't have a $40 million fuel budget a month.
I don't know. So,
then they said they had all them oil tankers. Yeah, but if you had all them oil tankers that was supposed to be sitting out there, the oil tanker stocks was going up like they were warehousing oil out in the middle of the ocean. All that surplus oil sitting there.
Yeah, you would think
the price would go down to try to get rid of as much of it as you could, not go through the roof.
Yeah. Finance and stuff was crazy. Oh, so one thing I started touching on before too was like when we were talking about finances, the economy, inflation, I'll say in 401k stuff, investment. It's crazy. I was looking at like accounts. I mean, 401k stuff is down 20-30%. Like that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot for people.
Yeah. When they keep telling you don't touch it and don't look. But I personally don't agree with that philosophy because your ass could go bankrupt, kid.
Yeah.
Yo, because you could lose everything. Like you can, and then you have to do a numerical game. If your initial investment says $5,000 and that shit goes all the way down to $500, even if it goes back up 20%, that 20% don't put you back up to where you started at. So you still took a loss. You just took less of a loss.
You know what it is though? So it's all relative to like how soon you need the cash that's there, right? Because in any of the indices, I guess you say, like say the Dow or the Nasdaq or whatever, like they've all taken dips, but they've all gone up over time, right? So if you can wait out the length of time, like I went back and looked at in 2008 we had the bacon crisis or whatever. Matter of fact, when this stuff started happening, I was like, damn, everything has dropped dramatically. Like I couldn't remember how long it took for the levels to come back up, and it was 3+ years. Like so, everything dipped like 18-20% or something like that, but it took like about 3 years for it to get back. So, but most people are not willing to like wait that long for their money to come around. If you had regular investments, you maybe was going to pull it out a little, maybe put a little money in there, you got to keep it in there for a few months or a year, whatever, take it back out. If you got 401k stuff, you want to borrow against it, but but all that stuff diminishes.
Well, but it comes down to like how long. A lot of people, they play for the long game, but at the end of the day, it's all like you said. It's about your need, and the reality is, you can hold and play the long game. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with that. First, everybody's tolerant for risk is different. Everybody's financial situation and what they can stand to lose is different. But while you're holding, waiting for this correction, you could lose all your fucking money.
Well,
So
but again,
don't.
But what they say is
Yeah.
it's never lost until you sell, right? And look at Joe Noel's comment. It says people who cashed out in 2008 would have tripled if they never cashed out. I'm playing the long range game, and they're right about that. Like, you know, it's not lost until you sell. Once you sell, then it's really lost. Like, can you lose all your money? I mean, technically you can, but it's shrank. It's shrank. Is that word? Shrink. It shrink. The money shrank. It hasn't like disappeared yet. It doesn't disappear until you sell it. It's it's contracted. That's what I mean. Contracting and expanding. Like the whole financial part of that. But it's scary to watch it. I'll tell you that, man. You like, and you see it as dollars and cents. It's not
Well,
easy.
I mean, that's why they say never invest what you can't afford to lose. But it's one thing to sit and watch it come back and you're not in rough financial times. It's another thing when you're telling people to sit and watch their money keep going down and they struggling in day-to-day life with bills and different things. You know what I'm saying? Money's a tricky game, man.
But I'll tell you, but if you're somebody who has not invested, like these are the times where people invest and they can make out in the long run, because like think of something like Bitcoin or whatever that was up to like 60, 70 something thousand a coin before. Now it's down to like 23, 24,000 or something like that. So it's a third of what it was. If it does go back up to that same range, that would be like tripling your funds or something like that.
Yeah, unless you got in at 40. You might have got in at 40.
No, I'm saying if you were to buy
up
to
60.
Yeah, that's what they're saying now. They're saying it's on sale now. Like, I mean, not even just Bitcoin, everything. I mean, if provided the stock market doesn't continue to tank more, like somewhere it's got to level off somewhere. I mean, that's just the way it works, unless
the cycles. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, but again, then it's never knowing how where it's going to do that. So how have y'all seen, like, what have you seen around you, like, to kind of like get the feel of like someone mentioned the you mentioned the rental prices and the ticket, like what else y'all seen, like the hurt with this?
I mean, probably everything that you all have seen. I see it everywhere. I see it with the groceries. I see it with things that you can't buy. There's a lot of things, like, for instance, my MacBook has been acting crazy, and I went to get a battery, and also then I was like, well, let me just go on and get another MacBook. It's just time. They told me like 3 weeks ago that if I paid for the MacBook, I might get a MacBook in the end of July.
Oh, wow.
Pay for it, but I might get a MacBook at the end of July. And I rely on my computers really heavy, as far as like, the editing software and the things that I do. So I make my money. And what was so gangster was, even when I started looking at the other computers that they had, the only thing that they really had was the base model, but it's not powerful enough to run my programs. When I bought this computer, like, it was fully blown out. It was like one of the most expensive computers they sold. And it's done really good for a long time. But it's just time now to, shift it up a little bit. Technology's changing. Do they told me that my battery would be in on a Friday. I went all the way to the Apple store in Durham, which is like maybe an hour away. They're like, well, we didn't call you. I was like, yeah, but the guy told me Friday, and it's on Friday. It was like, well, we called you. I was like, yeah, no, but the guy said Friday. This woman looked it up and was like, we don't have any batteries in stock today. So we think the battery will come mid-July. I'm like, yo. So I go to the Geeks, at Best Buy. And the dude was like, listen, if you're going to spend this kind of money, blah, 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 you might as well go in and get this computer right here. I said, dude, I'm with you. And I told him, I was like, but these computers, you can't get your hands on. He said, I'm quite sure he said, things have been tough, but I'm quite sure these. Nothing. Zip.
Is that? Oh, go ahead.
I think what's happening is two things I think are happening. As far as the inflation, they're raising all of these rates. And I was listening to like NPR. They were saying that they're doing it in part to tell people to slow down with the spending. Pretty much in a nutshell, in some ways and shapes and forms, we have spent out. But there's still the same shortage and we still have the same problems. So it's not punitive, but it's sort of like a way to, if you can't afford it, you're going to save your money more or less. Or, you know what I mean? Because people, even though people are starting to slow down now, when all that stimulus money came and all that, people went nuts. A lot of people went nuts, because it was to stimulate the economy. But all that money has to come back from somewhere. And I think maybe 2 years ago, I don't know if it was you or Charles, one of y'all hinted at it on one of these shows. They're like, at some point, this is it's gonna come back some way, shape, or form. But how is it gonna come back? So you got that. You got a war, and there's something I want to read to you guys in a few minutes. But it was something on my man's page, and it goes back to our conversation that we had about does the Russia-Ukrainian war, does it matter to black people? And my man wrote something on his page today, and I just screenshot it. And I meant to tell him, like, kudos. But this was exactly what our conversation was. But now, 6 weeks later, it's like, it's in our face. So I don't want to get too scatterbrained. Let's see what some of the other people are writing up here. Tia wrote gas, food, apartment, etc. Kimberly wrote increased crime. Joy, wrote, that's the same with car parts. People who have had car accidents can't get parts. Yo, did you know that, Charles? That might be that part. The car parts.
Nah, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, it's funny because, but I mean, it's a car part, but it's kind of different. Actually, a rock hit my windshield today driving, and it put a crack through, like, from like the corner coming right about even to like the middle of my steering wheel, right at like eye level, man. And so I had to, I went online get the glass replaced, but they didn't have an appointment for me until Monday, so it ain't really that bad for me with the glass. But I don't know about, a more like a mechanical type part.
Let's see some other comments that are up here. I coupon for everything and seen the difference 2 years ago when I was paying $10 for $150 for the groceries, but today it's costing 4 times that amount. Yeah, I can see that happening with coupons also. Joy wrote, also we depend too much on other countries to supply us. We need to bring productions back to America. We rarely see made in America. That's a slippery slope, man. Oh my gosh, that goes in. Whew. I agree, but the variables with that could it gets deep. It gets really deep. Let's see what else is up there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this last one really quick. They told me when the deer hit my truck that it will take at least 3 months to get the parts in, so don't call them. They'll call me. Hey, yo.
Wow.
It is. What was you about to say, Mike?
I think part of what we were saying before with this financial stuff, I'm not the best in breaking, like I do okay on the business talk, but I'm not the best in breaking down like the inflation and inflation stuff in general. But none of this stuff, and it's no conspiracy thing or nothing like that. But like none of this stuff is done by mistake, and it's done like none of it's done in the vacuum, like without knowing what the outcome is, right? And when I say that, I mean that like throughout all this COVID stuff, when they introduced all the money into the economy, and all these payouts and billions that went out, like it's known that that devalues the dollar. Like so, just like anything else. I think I explained this a few other times before. Like anytime you have like additional supply of stuff, like it devalues the value of it, right? So if I have what's a good example? Let's say the damn pistachios, right? If I'm selling pistachios regularly, I don't know, they maybe go for like $5 a bag or something like that, right? But if I flood the market with an extra million of them, then they just gonna sit and go bad or whatever. So prices automatically go down. Like the same thing happens with money, right? So when the government puts out all these extras billion or trillion, whatever's in that stimulus package, it would devalue your dollar. Like your dollar in of itself, you can buy things, but the value of it drops down. It's just worth less. It's worth that each dollar is like a dollar essentially then becomes worth say 80 something cents, etc. Whatever the value is, right? So, and I just noticed something else in the news. So when all this inflation stuff jumped up again, just recently, like the Federal Reserve a little while ago, the money that they loan out to the banks, they increased the rate, and that's all in an attempt to bring the economy back into what they say to bring the economy back into balance or whatever. But they did that knowing that it's going to shake stuff up and it's going to mess with prices and everything. But it's to pull that money back out of the economy kind of thing. And I heard somebody say something today, but they just did it again. Like they just raised, the Federal Reserve just raised.
They've been doing it almost monthly.
Yeah, they just did it again.
Today they was hard.
So when we feel like the pain of not being able to buy something, that's like I mentioned something about contracting and expanding stuff. Like that's essentially like pulling money out of the economy, like to bring the value back to a dollar kind of thing. But it hurts. It messes with the whole middle class because you suck it in different directions, and eventually, everybody lose money. But it balances out the value of a dollar. Essentially, that's the best way I can describe it without going into too much detail because I'm not the best in describing that.
You think the economy hurts more with people not spending or people spending?
People only spend when you spend technically when you have surplus money, right? So, but that's when too much money is pushed into the economy where people can spend, then yeah, it brings down it. Both do the same thing. Both mess up the economy. I don't think it's one does more or less. Like both mess it up. It needs to be in balance with the supply of goods and services. I guess is the best way. Like some economists would say, it needs to be at equilibrium. I think that's how they kind of say it in economics. It needs to be equilibrium. You have either way, either up or down, then it gets thrown off. But too much money. Think about it. Like when too much money gets thrown into like the U.S. to all this stuff, like. You got people doing excessive spending and everything's blowing in, but your money's not worth anything more. That's how you have like countries that have like that's exactly what happens in different countries. Like, well, you travel, like you see, like you don't have a dollar against another dollar, 5,000, it's a dollar against like 2 million yen or whatever the hell it is. It's like it's just the money doesn't mean anything anymore. The value of it, it's like it just goes up. It's $1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Like they just get all thrown out of order. No, that's a tough topic to get into. But.
It is, but
yeah.
I think.
But I mean, what do you think the dollar's done on the world stage though against other currencies?
You hear me?
What is it done? You said. What happened?
No, go ahead. He asked about the dollar on the world stage.
What do you mean, Z?
No, I'm saying as you're saying, it's been devalued. I'm saying what is it? It's been devalued as far as being able to purchase goods and services, but I'm saying what has it done on the world stage as far as against other currencies?
I think most. I don't know. I haven't checked. Like I know what the U.S. did, but I think a lot of other countries did similar things. Within the economies, and then like again, you have all your different economies like socialist economies and different things that handle their money a little bit differently. But I think a lot of other countries did similar things. What do I think it did? I think it dropped. It definitely dropped. Let me see what Stephen Shear said. Some argue Bitcoin is not good for the economy as it challenges the value of the dollar, but Now Bitcoin's own value is really low. Thus can buy low. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I'd have to look, but I think that the U.S. dollar it had to have dropped. It did drop when you introduce too much money into economy. It causes it devalues the period. Like that's just a financial kind of fact. I think, and that's what the U.S. did when you threw all that money into the economy with nothing to balance it out, like not against additional services or things being introduced or goods and services. It's just printed money. When you just print it with nothing, like without balancing out the goods and services or the exchange and stuff, it just takes away the value of it. It makes everybody else's dollar worth less. That's exactly what it does. Like the dollar you got in the pot, like if we all holding on to, like somebody just said something about Jordans or whatever. If we all got a nice new pair of Jordans that we bought. And say they cost, I don't know, Jordans, I was gonna say $100-something, but that's not what they say. Say they're like $300 or whatever, And if somebody just floods your room, like somebody just delivers a truck, yo, I got a bunch of Jordans. Like, yo, I got a million, I got 1,000 of them. Yo, your Jordan's not worth anything anymore. It went from $350. Now, yo, just get rid of them. It's like $50. Same thing happens with the money. Same thing. Same thing with the Bitcoin. Same thing with money. Same thing with currency.
But I didn't think the dollar was really losing on the world stage like that, though. That's why.
It's still. I mean, I guess because it's probably like, it's all because all the different currencies like went through the same thing throughout this COVID thing. Every economy got hit. And a lot of the other currencies is pegged to the dollar, right? Like they base their currency like off of how U.S. stock market is doing and stuff like that. The value of the money. So we lost that for a second. Let's see what Tempest said. I read. Where's the best place to read this at? I read that they printed more money in the last couple of years than they have in the past 40 or something like that. So essentially, the dollar has been devalued. Yeah, you know what, Tempest? I looked up the amount of money they printed and distributed throughout this time of COVID is ridiculous. Like I think I looked up one day the amount of money in circulation and the amount they produced. How much is in circulation on a day-to-day basis, and I think the amount they produced just during this COVID thing was more that was in circulation on a day-to-day basis. So that really shows that like the value of it really, really dropped.
There we go.
What happened?
I was trying to get it all. Tia said use her promo code. Yeah. You want to know what, man? I sat in line the other day. I went to Costco because they got like the cheapest gas.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, and this is what I was talking about, quality of life, kid. So my car probably holds about 18 gallons. And Costco was like 6-7 cents cheaper than the next closest cheapest gas station to me, which isn't that far, much further than Costco. Different directions though, right? But not further. And y'all was sitting there, Gabe, and it took me. So I actually did a experiment. Yo, the other gas station, I was in and out in about 3 minutes. Type, pulled up to the pump, bap, out. Yo, it took me like 27 minutes to get gas at Costco because of how long. Yo, they coned off the parking lot. The lines are so long. And so I was like, yo, 18 gallons, 6 cents.
Yeah, you did the math on that.
I said, yo, I saved like $1.08. And I said, if I do that once a week for 52 weeks, I'm a spend about $56 more in gas for the year. And I was like, yo, kid, I'm not waiting online no more for no half hour to get no gas. It just takes away from my quality of life, kid. To save $1.08, I'm not doing it.
But
I'm not sitting at a gas station online.
But what I seen is at Costco and stuff like the difference in price was that you just mentioned was just but that usually is much more drastic. I mean, no, it is.
Yeah, the ones I've seen are like way more drastic.
Yeah, no, it was definitely no, I'm saying that must be a
yo, Costco was $5.50 for a premium. And the other place was like $5.56, $5.57. And I said that. I was like, yo, you know what? The Costco, we're so used to it being so drastic that I think people are so used to Costco having the best prices, which they do for the most part, that I don't even think when they go to get gas, they even consider there could be a spot right down the street from Costco that's selling gas for $1. But people are so used to Costco that you just instinctively go there. Because I was shocked. I was like, yo, this gas ain't even that much more expensive.
I've seen that. I've seen that a few times, what you said, where it might be in that 6 to 10 cent, but most of the time, it's significant. Especially for like the cheapest gas. It's like 15, 20 cents, like off the rip. You know what I mean? So I've seen it where
I've seen it much more than that. Like
I've seen it more than that too, but I'm just saying, as far as my what I remember as far as the averages, you're at least going to get 20 cents, 15, 20 cents. Now, I know it's been more, but 5, 6 cents, that I think that's more rare. But you know what? Maybe that's going to be more common from now on. Everything is jacked up.
That's true.
Everything is so jacked up that maybe that is going to be common. But I do want to say something, maybe for somebody, like anybody that saves money, like people at Coupon, and people that extremely save, they're gonna that is a part of their quality of life, as far as like, saving that type of money or putting in the time to save money, and then they add it all up, collectively. So that's $56 plus whatever else they might be saving in different places, So I feel you on that.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Everybody's
yo, Charles,
everybody's situation definitely.
To Sam's Club to get the cheap gas, and I'm like 2 minutes in, I'm like, yeah, not today, and I bounce. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
But there are other times where I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna chill out. But also when I'm saving like that, I haven't been saving like that in years. But when I used to try to save like that, I was tracking all the savings. You know what I mean? So that's a completely different discussion. So
now, as we look in, so I looked at like somebody mentioned something on what do you call it, gas buddy and stuff. I looked online. The prices is much tighter right now. Like they usually. I'm down the street from here. Y'all went to a regular gas station. The price was like $1 different, like a block away. And I was like, that you never see it. I was like, price gouging and stuff, man. It was like $1. I was like, you're across the street.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like, how do you make a sale with the prices like that?
I mean, because people are.
But now, yo, check this out though. This is what I'm saying though, because I was just looking up the gas station I went to, but their regular unleaded is $4.78. But most people are in the $5s already for regular unleaded.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So people who are going to get regular unleaded is probably driving by this gas station because they're just assuming like Costco and prices. That's what I'm saying, because it was a Gulf gas station. That's why I was just looking it up. And their prices was only like about, well, let me tell you this. Sunday, their prices were only about 6-7 cents different in Costco. And I was like, nah.
Yo, what about this? So have y'all seen this? So this is a few months ago, but I remember these slick ass people at these gas stations doing this. So I pulled up to a gas station. I'm getting gas, and then and I see the guy. I'm looking at. This is when the price was already high. Like this was a few months back though. I'm like, damn, the price is high. Like I'm in the gas station just talking to myself like, damn, price is high, and the guys at work there coming out stuff like that. And then I see and this is like 2:00 in the afternoon or something like that. So he's changing the signs, and I'm like, I said, man, I gotta ask you a question. I was like, it's the middle of the day. You didn't have a truck delivered. I ain't seen no like the price of the gas that you got. And I asked him, I was like, yo, the price of the gas and the tanks couldn't have changed. You paid for this just like it was something on the shelf. And he said, what he told me, he said the truck was just delivered. I was like, just came. So I was like, no, it didn't, man. I was like, I would have changed it. Like, I didn't believe it. I don't know. I was like, yo, I said, how are you changing the price of gas midday? Like, I don't know how that works. Like, that seems like a scam to me. And then one of the guys told me, says one time, he says, before we had to do it, I guess they get the call. He said they did it twice in a day. Like, change the price. And I don't know. Damn gas. I said, I'll tell you one thing. I see all these people, Teslas left and right. I drove past a place today, and the Tesla charger station was like packed. It's
that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, well,
yeah. Man, we spending either way.
Say again.
We're spending either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though, like, I'm digging the electric cars. I mean, eventually, that's going to sort of catch up to us in some ways too. To the energy is being used. Maybe solar might help. Maybe, I don't know. But I don't know. But I mean,
what about your man that they said was building that car that ran on water?
They got murdered, like the other person that got murdered.
Oh, yo,
the dude that.
Yo, we hear something else funny. Well, it's related to the same topic. So me, my nerd, the nerd side of me, right? When I started, this isn't even recent though. This is probably like three years ago or something like that. So I heard about that. I mean, I don't know. Whoever pays attention, little geek, because I see Mr. Sean Bay is on. I'm sure he like this stuff or whatever. But so I heard of that stuff like with water. It's like, all right, we heard about this in school. Like, what's water made of? Is it hydrogen, H2O, two parts hydrogen, one part oxygen, H2O or whatever. And but then I saw something that was on YouTube or whatever. And it says, and it had to do with one of those car things with the energy. So it says, all you got to do is put an electrical current into water, and it separates like. So if you put it like, and it showed it like with a paper clip or something like that, using like a 9-volt battery. You put it in the water, it separates out, like the hydrogen will come to one of the terminals and oxygen will come to another. I was like, get the hell out of here. I was like, so I was like, yo, I gotta try this, right? So I started putting together this. I'm in my kitchen. I would take this little plastic bottle, pour water in there. I got one of those like little glue guns so I could stick the little probes inside the thing. I put it in there with a 9-volt battery and everything. And and lo and behold, like, put it in there. I connect the battery. It starts bubbling up, like inside water. I was like, oh shoot, this is like I just made hydrogen and oxygen. Like it's like I'm like Tesla or something like that. And I'm like, how do I know for sure this is hydrogen? So my Liz is in the house. I'm like, I gotta light it, right? She's like, what? I'm getting ready to light it. I'm like, she's like, what? Are you crazy? I'm like, no, you can't. I was like, it was just a little bit. Like, I don't know how bad hydrogen gets, but it was enough to be in a little cup. She was like, you are not lighting this thing.
Oh, you bugging you.
Because I was just so amazed that I did it. So I was like,
mad scientist, Mike.
I was amazed by it.
Oh my gosh.
It was just. But yeah, I figured that was. I almost forgot all about that, but I was pressed on doing it. So anyway, lesson learned is that same tech. Since I didn't get to test it in the house, I can't tell you 100% sure, but my understanding is, that gas that I created is hydrogen, oxygen, Oh, I see Mr. Bay said we did that. I don't remember doing that in school, but I know I didn't get to light it, man. So if anybody has done that, they can share their comment.
But Tia, where are you getting? Tia, where are you at though? Are you in New York? Is she in New York?
No, those are southern prices. That was a month ago.
I'm still upset about not being able to finish my experiment, man.
Yo, you
Raleigh.
do it
I
again.
I actually might be coming down to Raleigh in August, man. I got a cousin live in Raleigh. Might come down for the Kevin Hart show down there, and they got some
They're gonna
type
be at,
of
the arena.
Caribbean festival.
Yeah. The Caribbean Festival. That's my man Grady Bussin. He's the one who is over that whole thing.
It's in Raleigh, right?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Actually, there's pictures I had up a few years ago of the boys standing there with the crowd behind them, and I love it. You know what I mean? I just haven't done anything like that really, since no one's really done anything like that since COVID. But I think they really about to go back and do it again.
Oh, see Leroy Houston on there. What's up, Leroy?
Yeah, I saw I saw an I don't know how I saw it, but I saw an advertisement for Caribbean Festival in the end of August down in Raleigh. So I was talking to my cousin down there, telling her that I might come down there.
I gotta look.
Yeah, something. I forgot what it was, man. I gotta look it up. But I remember saying that the weekend I saw it was also the weekend Kevin Hart was gonna be down there. So I was like, maybe I'll go to the Kevin Hart show.
It's gonna probably be at the arena. They've got a few places in Raleigh to do those types of shows, big shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're watching these plane tickets right now.
Yo, y'all might think I'm joking. I went and looked at scooters 2 months ago. For real.
You said you looked for what?
I went and I priced scooters. They were I was going between an electric bike and a scooter.
Oh,
the electric bike is $1,700, the one that I liked. But the scooters were $1,400. You know what I mean? And I've always sort of shied away from scooters. I don't know, motorcycles and scooters with me always been sort of But yo, I was like,
wait, when you say scooter, are you saying the stand up ones? Are you saying the sit down scooter?
Sit down, put your helmet on, scooters, you know what I mean? And they got this spot in Greensboro. You go up in there, and they got them in all sizes. I didn't realize that they go.
Yeah, no, you can get scooters that's full blown motorcycle.
Yeah, and the one I was looking at was a motorcycle. I've always been a little, but I was inspired to an electric bike when I was at Pilot Mountain a few years ago. And this dude rolled his bike up the hill. It bugged me out. I mean, because that hill goes up. I don't know how long you driving up that hill. You're going straight up a mountain. And he rode it from Winston-Salem to the top of Pilot Mountain. And I was like, so how you going to get back? He's like, yo, I got 2 batteries. The first one got me here. It could do 40-something, 50-something miles. And the other one was the other side. It was just bugging me out. But he rode it to the top of Pilot Mountain. And he did it effortlessly. Yo, cool. So, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Something got it. I know one thing. I'm gonna be driving my son's car a lot more, his Honda. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? If it's something local, that truck ain't moving. For real. You know what I mean? The truck can go for everything. Yeah. That V6 can go for something else. Otherwise, it's gonna be the Honda for everything, man. So you're probably gonna get a little upset with me because when I get my car.
Petroleum, man.
What's he say?
I said that you ain't eating that petroleum, swallowing it. Everything.
I could one time
jalapeno, Steve. Jalapeno.
That joint and be good. $40 is the new $7, man. $40 like the new $12.
So I pull it out. I keep it low key, but I don't even think Charles. Well, you in North Carolina, but I don't even think Charles ever seen me riding because I keep a bike too,
Andre, man, he's stupid, man. Bring back the Flintstone vehicle.
I can see Andre being the one starting with those.
I can see that too. What would you say, Mike?
Nah, I keep it low key. I know it ain't never seen, but I don't think Charles ever said. But I got a motorcycle too. But when it's better on gas and it's half the cost.
Yeah. You got a motorcycle?
Yeah, I have for years, but I just
wow. I can't see you, but now I can see you getting when you join going out, man. I can see that. All you need, Mike, is a goatee, man, and nobody in the world will mess with you, man. You come out You give him the goatee and one of them, yo, Charles, give him the earring that hangs with the little cross.
Oh, nah.
Let him get a neck tattoo or nothing, man. You like, don't mess with him. But he's the nicest guy in here. No, don't mess with him, man. Yeah. Man.
Yo, I'll tell you one thing though you don't want to do. I did this when I was living in Queens, like, because especially traffic, like coming back and forth to Westchester. I was like, first of all, I was like, I'm gonna first of all, tolls crazy every day, traffic. And I was like, it'd be cheaper with gas. So I was like, I'm just taking the bike back and forth to work or whatever. First of all, like you got to be on a different kind of keep your head on swivel and just alert when riding a bike in general. But at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, man, when you still waking up and stuff like that, I did that like 1 or 2 days. I was like, I can't do this because it's that much more dangerous during like rush hour traffic and you have to wake. I was like, I do not have the vicinity to like be doing that and not early in the morning and like you waking up and everything. It's just like you just take the car and just not bother with it.
Yo, motorcycles are dangerous, man.
You talking about your motorcycle?
It's dangerous out there.
Wait, say that part there first.
You were talking about your motorcycle or your bike?
Yeah, no, motorcycle. I'm saying commuting on the highway with a motorcycle in the morning is crazy. Yeah, I mean, and everything is definitely. It's definitely more dangerous.
I'll tell you this: if I get a scooter, I'm on the back roads, man. I'm not nothing personal, but people drive a little different down here, And to any of my Carolinians, don't get mad at me. Y'all know people be driving different out here. We drive different out here sometimes.
Wait, now the scooters you were looking at, how fast they go? How fast?
Nah, people move out here. They don't fly. Yeah, everything's 80. Everything's 80. If you jump on any of the highways here, you're doing 80. If you're doing 65.
No, he was saying the scooter. How fast would your scooter go?
Scooter do 80 or for the road?
No, they have something to do. They have something to go like 60 and something. Like the one I was looking at was like 50 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Not highway regulated. They do have them. I wouldn't do that. I'm too nervous. I'm not gonna tell you no lie. Plus, I was gonna say I'll be on all the back streets. Like you catch me like, waving at like families, and I don't want to be on the roads.
I think in New York, I was just looking that up. In New York, if the scooter goes over 50 miles per hour, they got it regulated like 3 different classes. I think if it goes over 50 miles per hour, you need like a motorcycle license.
Right. And some of them actually go that fast. Some of them are regulated for the highway.
Yo, I've seen this a couple of times already. The dudes with the stand-up ones with the small wheels, but they're bigger wheels or whatever. But the stand-up with the 2 little, bar, one bar coming up, with them on the highway. I don't know if you've seen this yet.
Yeah.
They got those ones that they do about 55, 60.
Ain't no way, man.
The dudes doing that, I was like, that's crazy. Any type of motorcycle, whatever, riding the stand up.
I got a scooter now that
Oh, that's right.
You and it ain't even one of them good ones. Yeah, that should do like 30.
No way. Get the hell out.
It's not. 30? That joint do like 28 miles per hour.
That's good. That's good.
But it ain't even rugged built like those ones that you can rent with the big wheels and everything. Yeah, that's one of the ones.
You used to have to pay a lot more for ones that could do that speed. But they legit, they got the ones that can go on the highway. But you can go highway speed. You shouldn't be on the highway with them. But that's what they do. It's crazy. I wouldn't mess with that.
Hey, gentlemen, I want to kick back one gear really quick. I haven't figured out how to put it up there on the screen. But I want to read something that
you took.
One of my homies put on Instagram earlier. Can I just read it really quick?
Go ahead.
He wrote, "The what? Bloomberg Economics estimates that the U.S. household will have to spend an extra $5,200 this year, or about $433 a month for the same shit." Then he wrote, "The why?" He wrote, "Supply chain disruptions due to the COVID-19, Russia's invasion of the Ukraine, while at the same time the government funneled trillions of dollars of aid directly to consumers and businesses, 2 rounds of stimulus checks, PPP." Then he wrote the why again. He wrote, he didn't write the why again. Hold on. Ah, I'm missing part of it. Holy crap. I thought I screenshot the last one. I got to go back and get this last piece. I'm going to do it really quick. Don't think I'm crazy. This will take 1 second.
Yeah.
Here's the last thing he wrote. Then this is it. Where is it? Then he wrote. Oh, then he said, with that said, I'm thankful for the men that made the U.S. Oh my gosh, I'm tripping, y'all. Hold on. Yo, it's giving me two different things. Hold on. I can't find it. Yo.
Well, go ahead. While you're looking, just know that the Yankees are the best team in baseball.
Oh.
He summed it up by saying, when I was trying to tell you all that these wars are not other people's businesses, it's our business too. This is a prime example of it. And then he was saying that, like, even though Ukraine is a racist country, a lot of the grain comes from Russia and the Ukraine, and it's causing all kinds of problems around the world right now, and including the gas shortage. So, you know, I just want to piggyback on that point. When things happen around the world, they affect all of us. That's just, my thing. So you got somebody up here saying, "Go Mets, man." He's not trying to hear you.
Mets are doing good. Atlanta's coming for him, though. And if you watch baseball, Mets are always good into the All-Star break.
Oh, wow, man. Well, listen, man.
So, what's up for Juneteenth, man? Father's Day. What's everybody doing this coming weekend? How they celebrated? If they're celebrated?
I'm shooting a festival on Father's Day. You know what I mean? I don't do anything on Father's Day. But this year, I'll be taking my photo with my children every year on Father's Day. Well, I can't. They're all working now. So now we got to take the photo late in the afternoon, which is going to be a little unusual. Normally we get up, we go take this picture. I mean, I got them when they was real little. Now everybody's my height. So, just sort of see them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm going to shoot this festival. It's a Juneteenth gospel / Caribbean, African festival. I should have promoted it actually. So I'll pull that up in a second. But what you guys doing this weekend?
What you doing, Mike?
No.
Are you celebrating Juneteenth?
I mean, I guess it's a mile away. I don't know. I ain't get there yet. I don't know. Yourself?
Yeah. I'm going to go watch the Yankees take a ride. I'm taking a road trip. Taking a road trip, driving upstate. Yeah, I was thinking about going past the top. So I'm actually going to drive to Canada. But I was thinking about, because of the road that I was going to take. So I'm going to stop at that. They got this Harriet Tubman home in Auburn, New York. It's about maybe 4 hours. Yeah, but so when I leave there on the route, you to go to Toronto, you enter through Niagara Falls. But on the route, I was thinking about dipping a little bit, even because it's still along the same way, and just going through Buffalo and go past that Tops supermarket where the shooting happened, man, just to I don't know, man. I always be wanting to see that stuff in real life, man, to see what it what it really looked like, to see the demographics, to see just the way it's built up and everything, just see the surrounding communities. I always, if I can, when stuff like that type of stuff happens or whatever, man, I always kind of like to see what it looked like for myself,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to stop by there. Yo, but let me tell you, man, I went by that George Floyd Memorial, man. That joint was a little bit surreal, man. You just stand, what'd be bugging me out, man? Is you're just standing there and you're just thinking about like, yo, like you act, like when you're watching something on TV, you can't really see the surrounding area and what's it really look like. And then when you're standing there and you're looking at it and you're just thinking like, yo, it's just like, wow, man, like, yo, this dude lost his life like right here. And like the world found out about it, like right here on this street. This dude was sitting here, one of these cops sitting here with this, and it's like you're just playing it all in your mind and just thinking like, damn, this store right here on the corner, it's like Arab owned. It's a lot of Muslims in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and it's like, damn, man, it's like a little Arab store like you would see in New York type thing, and everybody in and out. The store is actually very big inside. It's more than just like a bodega. It's actually kind of big. And just think like, people coming in and out, going about their daily.
The store still is open.
No, it's open. Yeah, the store's open. Yeah, the store's open. I actually went in there and bought a water just so I could go in there and think. And what was ironic is like they just going about their daily lives again. You know what I'm saying? Even though this whole memorial setup is in front of their store, but it's their life. It's their everyday life. It was their life before this incident. It's like getting back to regular life outside of it, and I mean the street is still open. You can still drive up and down the street. And but it's just to think about like just what happened there, man, and you just think like, damn, this could have been any street corner anywhere. And it's just like what happened that day, everybody, like you think of how many times people have interactions, altercations with the police. And the whole time, like when I was standing there, I was just thinking like, yo, this interaction between this dude and the police on this corner in Minneapolis right here, like the whole world found out about it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, it's just crazy because they also at the memorial, it's called the George Floyd Memorial, but at the memorial, it's a list of different people that have been killed by Minneapolis police. And when you start looking at that, and those are the untold story, those are the names of the people that didn't become like George Floyd or the young kid Dante that got killed with the thing, man, the female names and this and that, man. And it's just, and then they got a street where they just wrote the names of everybody and it's just going up the block, man. And it's just like it's like, how is this happening, man? How is this allowed to just keep happening? And how many of these people never got justice? How many of these people never even got their story heard to even get justice? And it's just, it's a lot. It's emotional, kid. You know what I'm saying? It definitely is. And I've been to actually a couple of, like little spots where, national police brutality incidents or whatever have happened to kind of see it for myself, man, to see what it was really like, man, and it's just, shit is just crazy sometimes, man. It's just crazy.
You know what? But the crazy, I think the almost crazier thing is that like there's nothing. As bad as that is, it's almost like the school shootings and stuff like that. Like there's nothing that occurred that will stop the next incident from happening. You know what I mean? Like you have these incidents where something happens with a cop or whatever, and they start to take too far, and all the cops, the process is in motion. You know what I mean? It's like whatever cops around the person, like protect the situation. They kind of let it unfold as it is. I mean, they probably nervous about it or whatever, but they let it unfold. The crowd can only jump in for so much with somebody who got guns. So it's like, but these things are like all too common. Like they happen, at a much lesser level, like in any stop that we probably all three been involved in, or something that's like uncomfortable situation with police. up until to the point of where, like, you know, somebody gets killed from a regular everyday situation. Like it's, but nothing, you know, it's there's nothing really from stopping it again. You know, which is unfortunate. But it's like,
And the unfortunate part, honestly, is that not just that nothing is gonna stop it, like you know it's coming.
yeah, yeah,
That is the reality. Like it's like a mass shooting, kid. It's like,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's very much,
okay,
yeah. It's
yo, like you know it's coming.
yeah. I mean, it's tolerated.
You know it's coming.
It's to agree. It's just tolerated. It's just what's gonna be. Like it is. It's just what's gonna be. Like it's very much the same. Like these shootings have happened so frequently. We talked about this before in the most heinous, like you know situations where where people at most vulnerable, like in church, in hospitals, in grocery stores, like kids, children, like elderly, like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And you know the desire to. I'm not even gonna get into the reasons like the gun rights and all sort of stuff, but there's more of a desire to keep that process continuing as it is, to as opposed to actually finding a way to stop it. The same thing with the shootings. Right? It's essentially the same thing. It happens over and over again. And that's why, like, even when we had certain conversations, like talks, it's like it's aggravating even to have the conversation on us. Because like, what do you say when there's like you just mentioned, just in Michigan with George Floyd thing, is that like, there's so many, such a long list. It's like, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? And that one stuck out so much because it was like watching the whole thing in slow motion. You know what I mean? It's like, you see what's going on. This guy is killing him. People are telling him he's killing him, and he's like, okay, that's what the world saw happen. And
callousness of it.
Yeah, the callousness.
Just the total indifference of what I was doing.
He too, like, just
remember
all those situations, like, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, you keep freezing, man.
I do with that.
Dev's like, I don't know if it's on me or him, but Dev keep freezing and then it come back like robotic on my screen.
I mean, I don't know. Probably. I mean, that's what I did a minute ago when I got up. I went and checked the Wi-Fi. But they can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody's Wi-Fi is low because the indication comes up. Well, maybe it's mine. I don't know. I see something on.
Well, they charged that officer in the Patrick Loyola shooting. The sheriff, whatever his name was. But to your point, about the callousness of what we saw. Like at the end of the day, when I think about that whole thing, outside of seeing what happened to George, I just think about the look on his face when the girl was like telling him, like, "Yo, you're killing him." Just the look that he gave. Many of us have seen that look, even if we die. But he kept it and still killed that man. They all killed him. They're all culpable. So when they charged that officer in Michigan, I was happy, but I also remember, like, I started to post about Patrick Loyola. I can't say his name right now. But I deleted the post. I deleted it because I was like, where does it end? Where does it end? Like, people right now about to go to work. I'm in the car, and I'm like, for everybody right now that's doing exactly what we're doing, getting ready to work and do, this is going to spoil their day. But they're going to hear about it at some point. But I don't want to be the one right now to spoil everybody's day with the commonality, to your point, of another murder of something you cannot explain. You no longer have the excuse of going for your taser and pulling a gun. You just don't have these. Matter of fact, you just don't have an excuse to be unprofessional. Because this is the utmost display of unprofessionalism at the most simplest and the most wicked at its best. It is. It's just disgusting. And nobody wants to see another snuff film. Nobody wants to see that stuff. You know, so I definitely understand, Charles, you know, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it. You know, I do plan on visiting and saying, you know, saying a little prayer. When we had Paris on here, his cousin, you know, that was like heavy, man. Like I just, you know, and listening to what she was saying, I'm like, yo, you know, and then when you think about like anything personal that might have happened to you in your life, it's like we can't even remotely heal from anything in our past because everything is constantly put in our face that it's all possible, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are. Like, where are we safe? Where are we safe? Like, you know, your position, where you live, nothing. You're just not safe. You're not safe in this cultured climate, and we got to say cultured climate because this is how it was designed. And then people say don't talk about race. Okay, give me a reason not to talk about it. Help remove this type of shit, and then I won't be talking about race as much. But I don't have an option. Like I'm a dark-skinned, melanated black man. You know, I don't have any options. This is what it is. You know? You want to go? That's a big one. I'm going to read it, though. Nowhere is safe for spiritual warfare, plain and simple, which has been going on since the beginning of times, as there's no known date in history where it's documented the earth has been at total peace. Right. History is just repeating itself, and prayers to those that have lost loved ones due to any form of violence. Rest in peace to my son, Arthur Little Nellie Greg Brown, who was murdered in 2001 due to gun violence as an innocent victim of a drive-by shooting. And I know all of us here, we are familiar with that. It happened in Mount Vernon, over there by the ice cream factory, I believe it's called. Is that what it's called, ice cream factory?
I don't know.
On Memorial Field, when he lost his son, him and his wife lost their son. And he was young. He was a baby. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
Great situation.
Well, listen.
A couple of people, friends we know. A couple of people from our generation, man, has lost their kids, man, to gun violence, and you know, shit is crazy, man. Even and I'm gonna tell you though, keeping it real too, man, it's so frustrating. Like right now in New York, and I get news break alerts. You know, I don't really watch news on TV. I read news, and yo, this shit that's going on right now, it's, you know, in lots of parts of America, but in New York right now, and yo, and unfortunately with us against each other, yo, son, it really is barbaric, kid. It's literally almost animalistic, kid, because the shit is crazy. It's crazy, kid. And I mean, like you're back to like, I mean, I watched a video the other day, like 4 dudes jumped out of a car, man. They beat a 60-year-old man at like 6 a.m. And I'm like, yo, what did, like, when you decided that he was gonna be your robbery victim, like, what did you think he was gonna have on him? You know, like, yo, y'all are back to robbing people for their gold chains, for their cars. Like, you're shooting people for their car. And that shit makes me so mad. Like, yo, if you're gonna rob an armored truck, a bank or whatever, you know, hey, not condoning it. I'm saying, hey, but yo, to come up to me and want my chain and then kill me for my shit. You killed me for my shit. It ain't yours, man. Like, yo, it's just, yo, and I don't, you know, and then, you know, it's like, yo, free your man or do this. And I'm like, yo, son, he out here hurting people, kid. And he's hurting and he's hurting black people. And he's hurting people indiscriminately, man. Like, why should we free him?
Nah, that's
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's it's ugly, man. And you know what's making it more ugly, I think, from our era, say, is that you can see it. You just don't hear about it. Like, I don't have to just hear like, oh, some dude in the Bronx got shot. You know what I'm saying? On Tremont. Yo, I could watch it. I could watch the whole visual of just how disgusting it was when the little girl that just got shot, the innocent bystander, 11 years old. You could watch the whole video of the kids coming by in the scooter and just firing. And it just makes it even that much more because you can actually see it unfolding almost not in real time, but you can see the events. And that's to your point too, like with the police brutality. It's like, yo, I'm watching what you did, and you're telling me you didn't do it. You know, you're telling me the video, you almost telling me the video's not real. Like, I watched you on this man's neck. Like, I watched it. And that's what I'm saying. They just killed this dude in the pharmacy in the Bronx the other day. 4 dudes beating him up. Then one dude steps around and just shoot him like 4 times. And I just watched the video and I'm like, yo, kid, like, when does this stop, man? When does it stop for us, man? Because like everything else, man, it don't seem like there's no end in sight for it, man. Ain't no help coming, ain't solutions, nothing, man.
We're gonna need one of those dev positive take us out the.
Yeah, but you know, it's yeah, we do, and I know we. It's hard, man, because like I know we gotta tone it down, but Charles like gave me another thought in the process of saying what he was saying. And what I was gonna say was, even when you try to help some of the youth, it's such a pendulum of what might or might not happen, but we're still charged in our own way with trying to do something. Exactly. A lot of older gangsters, they old, you know, they don't got the energy. They old now. They chilling, you know. They in church, they in the mosque, you know. They did a lot of damage in the past, and now they're trying to redeem themselves. You know, they trying. But with the young generation, and it's sort of like such a catch-22, because in one breath it's like some of them sadly will never hear us. They'll never hear anything we say or do. They won't be able to see. They won't hear anything that we say. They won't see anything that we do to try to keep them from the outcome of being in that prison or being buried or cremated or never found. Because that's what I say to them when I'm talking to them. It's not just being buried. Sometimes you ain't never found. It's dirty. It's a grimy, disgusting game when you live in that way. But the other side of it is, I'm like, even if it's just 1 ounce of hope, 1 ounce of prayer, 1 ounce. Like, I got to hold on to that and still be a redundant message to those who will listen, or who might be in a situation and really want to be in a situation. You know, to those who might be the voice of reason for that one moment that stops their homie from doing something stupid. But unfortunately, this COVID thing and people being locked up in these homes and the non-socialization, we are seeing the true result of that. And not only with the youth, we've seen it with adults. Some people have basically lost their damn minds. They don't even know it, but you know. So my prayer is that, did I lose you?
No.
My bad.
No, we got you.
My bad. My prayer is that, like, to the best of our abilities, we don't lose hope. And we don't lose that bit of hope in ourselves to make a difference. But we also have to be very realistic about the world we live in. And I don't want to have the gun talk or nothing like that, but I do believe in the rights to bear arms. I do. But I also believe that there has to be a responsibility that comes with that. But then I'm looking at it like, well, damn, like, what do you do? What do you do? We are really watching something unfold that we've never seen before, ever in our lives. None of us have ever experienced this before. And when Charles said earlier about this reminding of being reminiscent of the crack era, you're 100% right. That was a hard time. But then you couple that with everything else in the world being completely polarized. Everything's on up. So where do you find peace? So, all of us. I was gonna say,
I was gonna say, and that violence was when people was getting money.
Wow.
That crack era, the reality is people was getting, especially young people, they were getting a lot of money, I mean, even the average street dude, they were getting money and it was still that level of violence. Now you got this violence and without the money, like it's almost like a desperation type violence, man, with the robberies like that and stuff like it's crazy, man.
We got
our quality of life is gone, man. We losing it.
It's true, and I want to tell you something else. Please, everybody watching this, and Mike and Charles, please pay attention to what's happening in Georgia with what's happening with these rappers and these artists being convicted on their lyrics. I'm explaining why I'm saying this, right? And sometimes we share some personal things. But last summer, I almost went and testified for an artist. The prosecutor, when he talked to me, he wouldn't let me come and testify. Because what they were saying was the video that was shot, and it's a video that my company was responsible for. The treatment I was responsible for all of it. My company, we did the whole thing. We shot in Memphis. We shot Memphis, South Carolina, North Carolina. And we had some dry shots, some photos down in Atlanta. They were trying to say that the video was a representation of this individual leading like this whole coalition. And I was like, no, not at all. Because we turned the treatment and we have email proof to show you that all of this was written. Well, what was said in the song is saying A, B, and C, D, F, and G, and the video goes, and they would not let me testify. Now, what I'm about to say is this. They not only threw the book at him, and even for what he was charged with, based on their statutes and all that other stuff, he would have gotten a certain amount of time. But once they added the RICO to it, They wanted 200 years on it. 200 years. They gave him 100. Gave him 100. So the reason I'm telling everybody to pay attention to this is because I saw with my own eyes the effery. And even when they played the videos that my company was responsible for, when the prosecutor was talking about it, it had nothing to do with the truth. It was all a lie. But it was 12 people that they weren't his peers. They were all white people. I think they had like maybe one or two non-whites, but they weren't black. I can't even remember the makeup because we didn't see them. But just listening to what that prosecutor was saying, I knew it was a lie because we turned in the treatment. And on top of that, the video was shot 8 or 9 years ago. So they dug up an old video and then tried to apply it to it now. But the reason I'm saying, pay attention is because now in that same jurisdiction, in those same counties, now they're going after Young Thug and Gunna. Now, mind you, I'm not saying for anything across the board, innocent or guilt. I'm saying for what my company did, that was a lie. You understand what I'm saying to y'all? That was a lie. And the way they spun it was so unbelievable. I'm sitting up there like, that's not true. But the way I think it's going to play out is with all the crime that we're seeing right now and all these things, all they got to do to make it a RICO law is say, I'm connected to Mike and Mike's connected to Charles. Whether it's a phone call, one conversation. Now, mind you, Mike might know Charles, but not know him in that way. I think it's all a slight premise, and they're going to start using the same things to start going after just regular Joe Schmo. The prisons have been empty for a long time. The prisons, and they've lost a lot of money in those prison systems. So I don't want it to sound sort of like.
And I think that charging though too.
Huh?
And now, like what you were speaking about with how it makes it harder to get up out of it because of the multiple different felonies and accusations that are going on. Makes it harder to get out of it because of the amount of co-defendants that you have. And somebody's just probably going to tell something. I mean, that's just the reality also. But it's like almost in the overcharging, like because this is what you have to really ask yourself. Are these, like, from before you even get into the elements of the crime, it's like, are these actually organizations, so to speak? You know what I'm saying? Like how, they said the mob was like criminal organizations. So like, these dudes from the neighborhood with gangs or whatever, are these really even fitting the definition of organizations as far as with that? But once you get them charges on you, man, it's like with them increased penalties and everything like that, man, it takes a lot of the discretion from the judge as far as like what you can be sentenced to, which is it's almost just ensuring that they'll be in jail for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Versus like, let's say, just saying like giving you a 5-year sentence where it's like, well, if I can convict him under the RICO statute, and I know he's getting a minimum of 25, he's done. He ain't Bobby Smurder in this thing. He ain't coming back in 5-6 years. He's done. His career's over. The money's going to run out. He's done. He's finished. Because he's not seeing the streets again to 25. He's going to be 50. He's going to be in his 60s trying to rhyme. Or, he's going to be in his late 40s. It's over with for him. I want to make sure I eliminate him with no chance of coming back. And like you said, I'm not even speaking to the innocence of guilt. It's that if you are guilty, I just want to make sure that I'm able to finish you off. I want to finish your career off with this. Where kind of before, rappers, or I guess they felt, athletes, they get a little slap in the hands, or, don't really do no time, or do a little 9 months, and they're involved in what they say they're involved in, all of this stuff, but now you hitting them with them RICO charges, man. The fact that you consciously see the federal government and the state government taking that RICO approach
Right.
to bringing down like rappers and stuff like that lets you know that and like I said, I'm not saying these dudes are innocent, 100% innocent. I don't know their innocence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying though is when the feds introduced that RICO Act originally, and they're charged on the state level, but when the feds introduced that RICO Act, it was literally to bring down the mafia. They had a direct target that they wanted to bring down. And now you're seeing all of these rap indictments, a lot of them ending up in RICO indictments. So that is proof that there's probably some memo floating around, something, man, that like, yo, we are going after these rappers and the violence or whatever they saying associated with it or whatever. We are going after them to bring an end to this. And this is why you're seeing like all of these indictments are coming under these RICO statutes and stuff like that, man. And it's gonna be, it's gonna be rough, man. It's gonna be rough to get up out of that, man, especially with a little bit of time, man, and let you know you straight Tekashi the shit. You know what I'm saying? But you a rapper, man. You can't even, and I'm gonna tell you something crazy. Like a 10-year federal sentence is not like, any time in jail is long, but I mean, the feds be airing dudes out. So, like you get a little 7-8 year federal sentence where you can see the streets again in 5-6 years. That's kind of light for them, because the feds they'll air you out with no problem. You know what I'm saying? And they don't got no problem who they do it to. You see, they sent Leona Helmsley, they sent Martha Stewart to jail. So you need to be clear that they do not care who they send to prison, man. They will send rich billionaire white women to prison. They will send leaders of other countries to prison. So they will definitely send a young thug to prison. Don't make no mistake about it. They got no problem with that. And they'll give you a lot of time, kid. And it's like they under attack, man. Them rappers better recognize what's coming at them. I'm glad New York State passed a law like you can't use the lyrics unless you could directly relate it to it. The rap lyric law that passed in New York, but the rappers as a whole, that industry, that entity, man, they need to see that there's a force now coming at them that is trying to shut them down with whatever they think they're doing. They are trying to shut them down, and that's why you're seeing they are making a deliberate effort to keep charging these kids with RICO statutes, man, because they want to make sure they punish them.
That's the biggest message, that part. And also, if you're a young aspiring artist, listen, you got to be real careful with what you write, but even more importantly, you got to be real careful in what you're doing in these streets. So if you're a good guy and it's just art, you better make a clear distinction or change those lyrics. Please, just, you can be successful without telling somebody else's story. I'm glad that New York did that, because that's going to be the difference, But listen, I know we got to wind down. We are definitely about 30 minutes over, if not 45 over what we said we were going to do. We were just going to come on, vibe out. Just I don't know. I look. Everybody, do what's best for you to have a peace of mind, and take it easy. Please try not to let this world stress you out. Please. So I guess that's about it, guys. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we good. Mike, any closing words, Mike?
Yeah, no, I thought Dev was gonna come out with the stronger words. He just said like,
Yeah,
keep,
you know, because
keep your chin up.
yeah, because like because I'm feeling it too.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the real shit. Like we are really live. Like this isn't like pre-recorded. Like and there's no script. We just talk. And I'm feeling it though. Because I'm trying not to be stressed out by everything, but it's pretty deep. And even for everybody that's watching, like I'm not saying go hoard or nothing like that, but if you could just stock up on a few things here and there and cut back on your spending. Even though I'm saying that, but I'm about to finally get the remote control car that I wanted for a few years.
Oh, wait, I do got a 30-second comment. I guess it's tied to this too. Something I've seen recently. Some posts have to do with like I saw a post of someone that we went to school and stuff like deals with like what do you call it, youth suicide stuff, and I've seen some comments having to do with like depression and they're just like tough topics and stuff like that. And I guess like times like now, like people go through like a lot of stuff, and I was just thinking about how you said like I'm saying like waiting on Dev's positive comment, and you're like, we going through it too, and I think like there's definitely a lot of people like all these circumstances and stuff like bring about a lot of stuff. Like we come on the tail end of COVID, work and stuff, keeping the family together, finances, inflation, damn, people health conditions, like it's just everything. So there's a lot. Like daily stuff is like a lot, and it's ultimately you gotta just keep pressing forward on certain stuff.
Yeah.
Focus on something, but mental health issues too. That's another thing.
Mental health is serious. Take care of your mental health.
You mentioned like the need to meditate and
yes,
and just find your calm space, calm space just on a daily basis, like constantly, just whatever that is.
Yes, you're responsible for your happiness. Right. You really are.
I mean, as you mentioned, you're doing that.
You got to pursue it too, man.
You have to pursue it. Absolutely.
Like feverishly. Yes. Like we know Z's thing is his trap.
Yes.
He gonna maintain his sanity at all costs, like enjoying life and traveling and doing that and just enjoying day-to-day stuff, like saying driving upstate in a few days, like just to learning too, like learning's a big part of it too. Like, I mean, conversations on this
everywhere I literally had that conversation tonight. I said everywhere I go, I stop somewhere where no matter what state, what city, country, anything, man, I always try to stop somewhere where it teaches me something about the area, the people in the area, the history of the area. And I always try to talk to people who live in the area. Like that's why I always say I don't look at myself like I go on vacation. I look at myself like I go on like life adventures or life, because I don't really see myself like vacationing, so to speak. I see myself more like exploring. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So it's like a different mental perspective, because I don't never go nowhere and just chill and sit down and relax and have some drinks on the beach. Like I don't vacation like that. So I'm always like, but it's a concentrated effort, and that's what we was talking about. Like most people have dreams, but they not living them, and the reason they're not living them is because they're not pursuing them. You see what I'm saying? And it's just like what Dev said about the happiness. Like, if you ask everybody, they want to be happy. Most people want to be happy, but where you're going to get the tough, where you're going to freeze them is with the like, well, what are you doing to pursue that happiness? What are you doing to pursue that dream? So where it's like, are you really living your dreams? And living your dreams, and this is what I tell everybody, like, in our culture, we attribute stuff like that always to something financial, where like doesn't even have to be something financial. You know what I'm saying? It just has to be that you're actively like, my thing is like my dream is literally I want to step foot in every country in the world. I want to have said that I want to have been able to touch the soil of every single country in this world. And I've been on a pursuit of that, kid, to try to just make that happen in any way possible that I can. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my dream, man. And
that's dope.
And that's what I do. I wanted to see every baseball stadium because anybody that know I'm a big baseball fan. And every state in America, because there's so much in this country that we never see or don't even know about. And from there expanded to like, yo, I just want to see everywhere in the world, man. I want to see people. I want to meet people from everywhere in the world, see every culture, every way of life. Just, and I mean, I know I can't see every part of, say, Italy, but, to spend some time there just to see the people, just to see the way of life, just to see the different thing, it's like my dream, kid. That's why I'm always trying to be out. Like literally.
Did you say Mike?
Oh, I thought John had a last word or two. I just wanted to take a quick second to say thanks to Stephen for his last comment and even pointing out his current comment too. I think like loosely related, I think even what Stephen's talking about here is almost what Charles is talking about, right? It means it's like Stephen's had a lot of input into the conversations we've had here. And part of it, and a lot of it has been involved. He said someone thinks what he's doing is strange, but some of it's involved in just understanding each other, right? And so we've had a lot of conversations on here with just that, like understanding each other people's conditions. He's mentioned it from different cultural issues or Black issues or whatever we've done, but we've delved into a number of different topics that aren't just that, right? Maybe it's mostly from our perspectives because we are our perspectives, and so I can respect like Stephen pointing that out because we can't have it from anyone else's perspective, right? But that even speaks to Charles's thing with traveling. I mean, like I said, he's been all over different places, like just trying to get an understanding of different cultures, different countries, different things like that. And that's one of his escapes, right? It's just not even his escape, like just that's how he wants to live, like, and that he appreciates it. I think to whatever degree, like we all gotta do that every day, like whether it's taking a walk outside and just soaking something in, or whether it's traveling, traveling far.
You want to hear something weird? Last night, there was an owl in the middle of the street.
Say the last thing?
There was an owl.
An owl?
In the middle of the street. And I stopped. And I'm like, yo, the owl's looking at me like, what you doing? And I'm looking at the owl like, what are you doing? I took pictures of it.
Yeah.
It bugged me out. The owl was like looking like, what?
Deb, what are you doing, man? This sounds like Charles's goat.
It is a Charles moment. I'm having a Charles and an animal moment. Yeah. It flew in my brain.
What the hell was that? What the hell was that that movie? Dr. Dolittle? Like, this is what getting off, man?
Yeah, man. Listen, I've seen a fox. I've seen many deer, but I've never seen.
I'm not talking to him like y'all.
No, that's Charles. Listen, that's him. I can't.
You just said the owl was like what you.
Yo, wait till you see the pictures I'm gonna send you, and it didn't move. And I'm like, dude, like you gotta move. In my brain, I'm thinking like, yo, you gotta go. But the owl was chilling, and then finally the owl like spread its wings. I couldn't believe how big it was. I was like, it didn't look that big initially.
Yeah.
Yo, them things are huge. Those things are huge.
Yeah.
That was my first.
That's why they predators.
Look,
but now let me ask you a question, Dev.
Yeah.
Yo, Dev, let me ask you something. When you stop there, right now, look, this is why I love animals.
or whoop.
When you stopped there and you said to yourself, to the owl, you said to yourself, yo, what are you doing here?
Right.
Wouldn't you have loved for that owl to be able to answer that? For you to have been able to communicate that back? For in that moment, you were really able to communicate with him to explain that to you, man.
No, but I get your point.
Yo,
No,
that's the thing of it, man.
You start hearing those types of voices in your head. That ain't the owl. It's like that's not the owl.
Bro, Tia said her son is in Ecuador. Oh yeah, I've actually been to Ecuador, to Guayaquil, Ecuador. I like South American countries.
All right, wait. So y'all talking about this.
Thank you.
So y'all talking about this crazy animal talk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share my. So I don't talk to no pets and goats and stuff like usually, but I will say I make a point to visit, my sister's niece and nephews, whatever, their dogs or whatever. I definitely feel the need every once in a while to I go by and I don't know what you want to call it. It's not like it's almost like a play date, man. I'm gonna post a video too, because it's the two pits, but their personalities are so they're so different, and they're it's funny. I went over there late the other night, and I went out on the porch. It was dark. It was I don't know what time it was, 9 or 10 o'clock or whatever. I think it was on the weekend, or whatever. But the older dog was so mad, he was barking. He was so mad because I wouldn't come out and play with him. So I was like, all right, I gotta go back the next day and just hang out with him for a few days because he was upset. He get upset, he can't play. They want to play so hard, especially because they're pissed. They got so much energy. But yeah, that's my pet story. I'm not gonna say I was trying to talk to him or nothing like that.
But don't you feel that you're able to communicate with those dogs because you know them and you have understanding of dogs?
I could definitely communicate with the older one because I know, I know her personality now. So she'll definitely, and she does a lot of eye communication. The crazy. See, now you got me damn talking about the stupid thing. So now, so I can tell you, I think I might have told you this before.
So you do communicate with animals?
Now I don't talk to them like you. It's different. But let me tell my story though. So
do you speak in English to the dog?
Oh Lord.
When you talk to the dog, do you talk in English to it?
I mean, it's a domesticated animal, man. It's different than the goat, man.
Nah, it ain't different. That thing is an animal, man. Do you talk to the dog in English?
I'm gonna tell you what happened. I took the dog.
Do you talk to the dog in English?
I mean, most people talk to their dog, they say it, but it's not like conversation.
Do you feel a dog understands?
Oh wait,
so you think the dog understands English?
Wait, you know what? I know what the difference is. You're trying to call me out. I talk to the dog in English. You talk to the goat using goat sounds. So that's the difference. You only talking to the goat using English. You think you can speak goat. That's what the difference is. I don't think I can talk dog.
Yeah, good.
He said you think you can speak goat.
You can speak goat.
Mike said, I think I can speak goat.
Well done, Mike.
All right, now we got to wrap it up. Man. That's it. I don't want to talk about no more.
Okay. So listen.
Oh boy.
We check in even though we're 2 hours in. We eventually will get back to doing 8:30 shows, but sometimes we'll be doing 9 o'clock shows. So thank you all for chiming in.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Se la pasa la calles.
There you go. Let me find the ending. I need to
all right.
Clip out.
I gotta get up early in the morning, man.
Much love and respect, y'all. Let's
right.
tune out. Peace.
Amazing.
Yeah.